Hey, sports fans, Coach Nick here, and welcome to the B-Ball Breakdown live show coming at you on a Friday after the Warriors just got trounced again by the Houston Rockets. They waved the white flag early again. And as always, I'm joined tonight by Chip Clark, the referee, college ref, our best friend of the breakdown, always there to help us with some calls. And let's bring in, as always, Andrew Combo South to discuss everything else in the game as well. Combo, Chip, what's going on, guys?
All is well. How are you guys doing?
Well, I like when I can watch a good game. And this was not a good game.
What was bad about it?
It just was like kind of I guess it was close to start the fourth quarter, but you kind of never really felt that way, right? Didn't it seem like the Rockets had control and, it was kind of coming back. They really were just sort of threatening to blow them out a lot of the time. The really bad turnovers in the first half by the Warriors, they had 9. Chip and I were talking. One of them I felt like could have been a turnover too on a strip on a quick shot from Buddy. So they could have had close to 10, and they almost had more because the ball started squirting around. So it just felt kind of like it didn't feel great for the Warriors from the beginning.
No sense of urgency.
Yeah, I think they were talking about that in the broadcast, right?
I don't know. That's what I saw.
Chip.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I felt that too. The sense of urgency thing. More so down the stretch. I felt like they kind of gave up when the Rockets went on that little run at the start of the fourth, and then the Warriors couldn't get their shots to fall, and then it was just one of those things like Kurt talked about in the broadcast or in the post-game presser after the last game. When every shot felt like it was going in for the Rockets, it's hard to get in sync on offense if you're the Warriors when the other team's putting the ball in the net every possession. So I felt like it was one of those things that kept snowballing and their body language dropped. And it was a 2-point game going into the fourth quarter, right?
Right. It was right there. And by the way, the Warriors, the Rockets shot 44% about 45% from the field. So not like crazy on fire. 40% from 3, which is good for them as a team. And then obviously Fred VanVleet with his sideways rotation went 6 for 9 again, and another second game in a row where he was on fire, having not really shot well before that. I suppose we'll have to figure out what the difference is really, but clearly Fred VanVleet has to be. He's not at the top of my list, believe it or not, but he's got to be close to the top of the list of the difference makers here for the Rockets.
I mean, Şengün. Şengün's a big difference maker. What do you know?
Well, and we see how the Rockets have performed these last 2 games when Fred VanVleet has been fire.
Why is it Şengün a difference maker?
Let's see if anybody in the comments can figure out what I'm thinking about, because there's somebody on the Rockets who is clearly the X factor here and completely changing the entire game.
Well, it's not Jalen. It's not Jalen Green. Oh, Thompson.
Nope.
Oh,
Steven Adams.
Yeah.
Steven Adams single-handedly is destroying them on both ends of the floor. He's blocking shots. He's controlling the rebounds on both sides. He even with the hack and Adams is creating the havoc because he hit those free throws. They got a rebound on it and put it back. So that didn't work. He is the hub right now. I think he is the single biggest problem that the Warriors can't seem to overcome.
So how do you?
I think he's a problem, but Şengün is a hub himself.
Yeah.
I think if you're the Rockets, who are you going to take for the next game if you could only take one of them?
Listen, Şengün tonight was 8 for 20, which for him is not great because he's shooting in the lane most of the time.
No, I asked the question though, Coach. Like, who you
I'll pitch it. And he had 14 rebounds as well. So they're killing them on the boards in that end. Although, let me see, they had 62 rebounds and Warriors had 51. That's a pretty big margin to have.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just telling you, it's not box score. It is just profound impact on the game, especially because defensively as well. But you can't move him. He's a threat to get every offensive rebound. Every shot they take it's a monumental task when he is in just to get the defensive rebound. Like all the energy that they were looking for is expended right there, and then they have anything left. It's really, really amazing what he's been doing. And you know what? We've known about this from him. He got injured. He didn't play for long stretches. He joined the Rockets, and we didn't really know about this. We've forgotten, but this is what he's been. And here's a chance for him to really, really, his impact, I don't even know how we can measure it. Every possession is just, he's there and they have to deal with it.
Well, 2 things real quick. So you mentioned rebounds. So I think Golden State, and this surprised me, I believe, but I think they got more offensive rebounds than the Rockets did tonight. However, they are expending that energy against Adams on the boards. But then you look at points in the paint. If I remember correctly, I mean, the Rockets just absolutely destroyed them points in the paint. And a lot of that is, credit to them not being able to get the Rockets defense, not allowing them to get into the lane. But when they do get into the lane, you got the block shot attempts, you got them impacting shots. They're not making easy shots in the lane. The Warriors are not. And that's a credit to the Rockets defense.
Yeah. I also think that they're really, really frustrating. And by the way, I see a lot of people in the comments. We're on my same wavelength here. So shout out to, there's probably too many people, but Player 5, GP Hoops, Lobato. Thank you, Bron. Oh, there's Bron. And don't forget, if you're on the YouTube side, if you want us to answer one of your questions, the super chat's the best way to do that, and it'll help us keep the show going. We'll really appreciate it. We'll put your name on the screen and give you a lot of love, and it really helps. So that's how you can get your question answered that way. We have the Facebook audience, I believe, is getting this too. So we'll see. There's a lot of people that I've kind of forsaken them. Forgive me, but we'll see if anybody from Facebook wants to comment. But at any rate, what were we just saying? We were talking about
the impact Adams had.
Yeah. But right. What did you just say, Chip?
I was talking about points in the paint.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, they destroyed them in points in the paint. The Rockets did, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I know what I was going to say. So that defense you're talking about clearly was frustrating for Curry. And when Curry gets frustrated, he starts to just throw shots up at the rim. And that's, he had, I would say, I don't know, 3 or 4 threes that were just like not really good threes, even for him. And, he couldn't shake free very well. They weren't really running. So like the low post split is what I've been, breaking down for years, and is their bread and butter. And this game got kind of out of whack for them, and they didn't run those. And the problem is that they don't need to call that. It's just sort of an organic thing that always seems to happen. They get it half the time. And they really, I think I counted the one time in the first half they actually ran it. Now, part of the reason could very well be because of the zone, and so they have their own special wheel that they want to handle that, and it was okay. But the one time they ran in the second quarter, Curry comes around, hits the three, and it was a good three. It was the kind of three he's been practicing his whole career. So they have to figure out how to get back to like what is good for them, right? And I think that this Rockets team is really getting them off kilter.
Yeah, you get the Yeah, go ahead, Combo.
They also just look younger in transition. They look more poppy playing up and down. I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah. Draymond, he gets out.
He was on doing his Draymond stuff from the beginning, which he was just being Draymond, like hitting Jalen Green in the back of his head.
Well, this is an interesting point I want to bring up to you guys. So, and I want to get y'all's opinion on this. Okay, so aside from that, we didn't see this game muddied up much at all with physicality. Aside from that early flagrant foul, in my opinion, I felt like this was a fairly clean game for how this series has gone so far. I'm wondering, so you feel like if you're the Warriors, maybe you get the sense that this series is slipping away. You were up 3-1. Now now we're tied. We're going to game 7. I feel like they're going to have to do everything that they can because, the Rockets have had their number these last 2 games.
Do you think it's harder to muddy it up when Fred VanVleet is just shooting right over the defense and the buckets are that quick hitting?
It is going to be harder to muddy it up, but I expect to see this, and I hope I'm wrong, but I mean, I think the Warriors are going to have to do that. From a ref's perspective, I hope I'm wrong. It wouldn't surprise me to see Draymond be vintage Draymond from a standpoint of just disruptor like crazy. And trying to get in people's face and just trying to instigate and stuff like that to try to throw them off their game. Because knowing which players to do that to is important because there's some players that are dogs, man, and you do that to them and they're going to respond by just dropping something on you, But if you do it to the right people and you can get them, riled up and stuff, I don't know. I think that's going to have to be what the Warriors do in a game like this. You'd like to see pure basketball and all that stuff. I don't know, though. I think they're going to have to try to find something different and find that spark. And it wouldn't surprise me if vintage Draymond comes out, and that's not necessarily a good thing.
Well, the other thing is they're going to try and get vintage Draymond to come out as well. They want him to come out because what they did tonight. Now, interestingly, I don't even think that they were really goading Draymond on that play where he got the flagrant foul. Like, he was impeding, he was in his way, whatever. But I didn't even see too much overt, maybe a little bit of the handsy in there. Nothing, because what you would think was they give him a cheap shot or something that get him and then to swing or whatever. And didn't even get that far, and he did it for him anyway. So, just a quick note. You have 7 techs before it's an automatic suspension. He's got 3. And how many flagrants can you get before is it 4?
I think it's 4. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 4.
Yeah, I believe it's 4. So he's already halfway there. Although the way this is going, the context being they were up 3-1, but they've now gotten blown out twice in a row.
Yes.
But getting blown out once, it's happened. The Warriors, it's happened. Then they've won a series where they gotten blown out before, and they come back and they just take control of the next game. But when you get blown out twice, that's a really tall order to fill, especially mentally, and have to be on the road. And the only saving grace for them in theory would be that the Rockets don't have experience in a game 7, other than Fred VanVleet in this situation like this, and that might be enough. Okay.
It might be.
Yep. Well, let's get to our first super chat real quick, and then we'll have another guest come on. So hang on for 1 second, Chris. But Braun, best friend of the breakdown, always great to see you. Thank you so much for being part of the show tonight. They ask anything different about the way teams are running zone in today's NBA versus the past. Zone today just looks so much smarter and more athletic, and that's a great question. And yes,
there was no zone in the past, right?
Well, that's true. That's exactly right. Yeah, so that's part of it too. You couldn't play any kind of zone really until the 2000s or whatever they changed that, right?
Right.
Chip, do you remember when they changed that?
Oh goodness!
Yeah,
I think it was like 04, 05, if I'm not mistaken.
Like the LeBron era, pretty much. I think.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, all you would see then was like 2 or 3, and teams would do it like 4 times in a game, maybe. Right? They dip their toe and not. Really
I think the Heat, right, were the first team to like really implement it in a smart way.
The Heat. I mean, I can remember the Mavericks in the finals in 2011 doing it then, which I think is before that, because I don't think the Heat played zone.
Oh yeah, no, that was way before the Heat were doing it.
Yeah, for the Heatles. So, but yeah, so and you'd see a little bit of it, but now you got like 1-3-1, and then the Rockets were doing. I swear, I saw several possessions of them doing the point zone, which is the chase defense that I invented is based on the point zone, but we play behind the ball, and so I feel like I saw them do that because you can recognize a point zone when you'll have a guy start on one side of the floor and then rotate all the way around to the other, crossing the midline. And that doesn't really happen. 1-3-1, it kind of happens to the one on the bottom who might guard both corners. But I was seeing a whole shift all the way around for everybody, all 4 players around the center. So that to me is the point zone. But then it got a little bit, the Rockets get a little bit, and I think Ime even said it's like a little bit random to kind of just like guard somebody, and that's what the other thing about the point zone. You have to be guarding somebody. And so a lot of times no one's in your zone and you got to be guarding somebody. You end up in a weird position where it doesn't look like a zone at all. And now it's causing havoc. So I'm going to dig through it. I'm interested to see exactly how well the Warriors did, because I feel like they got good shots in the first half against it, but I don't think that they nailed a lot of them. And that was a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And I even noticed, me and you talked about it too, back in the last game, Coach. We were texting about it. And I'm like, I knew something looked different about that zone, but it looked semi-familiar. And it's because I've been studying up on your defense. Wow. But there were some similarities there for sure, and it just gave them fits.
Yeah. I mean, if I can find it, maybe I'll share it. I actually did a diagram of it with you can see how the 4 players interact. So remember, what the point zone, it's the center plays goalie, and the other 4 are kind of like a wheel around the center. And so it's really cool. It's a really great zone, and it's valuable because no one plays it anymore. Dean Smith invented it at Air Force and then brought it to Carolina. And it's a dead zone. Nobody plays it. So it's like an advantage because of that. So we'll have to see it. I mean, they're going to have to solve it a lot better in Game 7 if they have any chance of winning. So, really kudos to Ime. I don't like the offense they run. I don't really like, I'm not even sure they make great decisions consistently, but, the mindset they have and the defensive stuff, and then the adjustment for the zone that they're doing has really been great. And the last piece would be Adams and Şengün together, which was not a thing they did very much. Really just dominating teams. And we're seeing more of those double bigs coming back, which is exciting. Yeah. Let's bring on a friend of the breakdown, someone who's been on our live shows a whole lot, and it's a great guest with great insights throughout all the teams. And let's bring on Chris. We haven't seen Chris in a long time, but I'm really glad you could be here. So what's happening, my man?
Nothing much. Just enjoying the games, man.
Yeah. It's fast and furious. It feels like even more games for some reason, but we're gonna get a little reprieve. It sounds like we're gonna get one game a day coming up.
Yeah.
Now. What did you think? Do the Warriors have a chance in Game 7?
Do they have a chance? Yeah, of course they have a chance. Houston has an advantage with playing at home, so maybe the role players will be able to give them that boost, because the Game 7s are usually slow, nasty. turnovers. It's usually the more experienced team that wins those games. But Houston's just huge rebounding advantages can really help them, especially at home. So we'll see. I would just try to keep the ball out of Curry's hands if I was them, as
Right.
much as
Which is what
possible.
they were doing, right? They're doing a pretty good job
Yeah.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't even notice, like, Chip, did you feel like they were being extra handsy and extra physical off ball with him?
I did not, and I watched for that specifically because a lot of Warriors fans do like to complain about Steph not getting the whistle that some other superstars do, and to a certain extent they have a point from what I've seen in the past. So I looked for that specifically, and I didn't see any extra handsy stuff from the Rockets tonight, but I did see in-your-face defense on them, and they made it very, very difficult for him to get to his spots.
I also think that he might be, his shooting hand thumb could very well be, painful and bothering him. That's huge. It's hard to shoot that way when you have a thumb like that.
It looked like he didn't have the same chip on his shoulder that he usually has. Steph Curry.
Yeah. Yeah. Like there was a bit of a smile on his face a little bit. Sometimes I feel like I can picture, and there, we need more of a scowl, a little bit more of that Neo from the Matrix, face.
Do you think his thumb is affecting his shooting more than his turnovers?
Oh, I mean, another great point. The dribbling turnovers he had, it didn't necessarily feel like thumb as much as like double team and blasting him. And then he's like, he's not, they're much longer than him, right? Like the guys that are on him are, like Amen is at least a couple inches long and taller. And anyone know what Amen's wingspan is? It's got to be more than 6'5", right?
It's probably close to 7 feet.
When the brothers have when the brothers are in the dunker spot, it looks like they're wide open no matter what because how quick they get off the ground and can dunk it with two.
Yeah.
It's like an automatic 2 points. Yeah.
So the AI is telling me that he's 6'7", but his wingspan is about 7 feet. So that's insane.
Yeah.
And he got ridiculous bounce.
Yeah. It's like one of the turnovers he had was Steph was literally like a lefty pass, like reaching trying to just get it around him and through a little window. And it wasn't there. And then he threw another one off of Moses Moody's foot on a roll, but the spacing wasn't great. The other thing that I thought that the AMA did well was they put Adams on Moses Moody and kind of like lured him into trying to be really aggressive. But it's just not his thing. At best you're going to get Moses like shooting the wide open three, and then attacking a closeout a little bit here and there, but not like trying to dunk on people like he did.
He actually looks more confident than ever, though.
Okay.
But like that's what Houston wants, right? They want Moses Moody to take those shots. It's kind of poetic though, because I think the Warriors kind of started that back in 2014, 15 when they put Andrew Bogut on Tony Allen.
I actually think Moses Moody, like Kuminga, would be better somewhere else. I don't think he's I don't think he's a read and react type player. I think he could defend. I think he can knock down a three. I think he'd attack closeouts. I don't think he fits with the Warriors style of play. I think he'd be better suited somewhere else.
Well, it's interesting discussion about that because I oftentimes feel like what people will say that like won't fit with the Warriors offense, and when you're kind of looking at why it's not, I mean it's the same skills they would need to have. We're seeing some of those things. I don't know.
I think PJ Tucker was great in certain systems. I don't think he'd be great with the Warriors.
Oh, really? I would think PJ Tucker would just be standing in the corner and hitting that three.
Nah, I don't think he would play like it's different. I think you have to be like a read and react type basketball player.
Well, let me look at it this way. So, Moody and Kuminga.
Danny Green, another guy. I don't think Danny Green would be ideal for the Warriors, me personally.
That's a pretty hot take, but we'll get back to that in a second. Like the Kuminga stuff. Okay, he keeps trying to show that he can do the things that you're talking about that would work in other offenses. And it doesn't really work that well. So in my mind, it's like, why would all of a sudden him being on a different team, doing that same drive and getting like halfway through the lane and then throwing up these awkward, bad shots that don't go in very often? Like if he was doing it and they're benching him, they're not letting him, or they're not giving opportunities, I get it. But we're seeing a lot of evidence of both those guys where, they're trying to do the things that like maybe aren't necessarily in the Warriors offense, but would be in other offenses. And they're not very successful with those, right? Like that's my impression of it.
I mean, he contributed to a championship team.
Who did?
I don't think Kuminga.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever gotten like he
did he play?
Yeah, he played
in the finals.
He played that whole season.
Yeah, Yeah.
And then he never really got an opportunity to like have the keys. I mean, he's a ridiculous athlete.
I don't
think he played.
How ridiculous of an athlete he really is in overall.
What?
I know.
I watched.
Use it though.
I watched him play at summer league. That guy's very athletic.
Yeah, but like, yeah, go ahead, Chris. I think he's making my point anyway.
But there's like a difference. Like, look at the way Asar and Amen Thompson.
But now you just picked the two best athletes in the world, probably.
But he's in that tier though. Like,
that's my point.
Arguably, those two, they're completely different in how they use their athleticism, how they defend.
They're more defensive.
It's night and day.
Yeah, so like, if he has it or not, it doesn't come out in the way it should, like you see some of those guys, and that's a problem. But let's get to our next super chat before we get too late in the tooth for this one. Euro Thunder, always great to see you. Thanks so much from Europe. We'll have to just say Europe. I don't know exactly where, but thank you so much for staying up, or maybe it's in the morning. I don't even know what time it is there. But thank you. The small ball era is over. Look at Heat minimum minutes where Lakers, Warriors. Well, you didn't even include OKC with Hartenstein and Chet. There's another team. Who was it?
Boston if they go power forward and center. I said Boston if they play Porzingis and Horford at the same time.
Yeah, but that wasn't it. I saw a tweet.
But there's another one.
Together. Şengün and Adams. Are we counting that? Yeah.
Yeah. They played the whole second half. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the thing too. And by the way, I know that we've talked about this, probably all four of us in like the years past or whatever, about how this will come back at some point. Or I think I know I would like it to come back because it seems like you can remember you get the best threes off of offensive rebounds, and that's when you have the two bigs. And then, I don't know if I would have thought that Şengün and Adams would work because neither of them can shoot at all. And at least Horford can shoot and KP can shoot and Chet can shoot. Who else? What was the other pairing? Ware doesn't shoot it, but so wait, who's the Heat's other big? Oh, Bam.
Bam and Bam and Ware.
Bam doesn't shoot it, so there's an example. So
sorry, you're forgetting Cleveland. It's Cleveland.
Cleveland. Havoc that way.
Yeah. Every trend has
Cleveland.
Every trend has a tipping point, but it looks very different from what the big man used to look like in the NBA when teams were playing inside out. Right.
Yeah, and that's right, Chris. Cleveland, absolutely. And at least you'll see Mobley shoot a three or two every so often, but not really. So it's interesting because you almost have to think that the only way it would work is if you have a four that can really shoot it, and that's not the case in some of these lineups. It's really interesting.
Bam actually shot it really well second half of the season, but he didn't have a great season overall.
Yeah, and it's funny because we all expect him to be like a low post scorer because he's a center, and that's just never developed.
He likes the mid range. He likes to be in like his like Kobe type bag, take tough mid range shots.
And then which reminds me of this posting up. When's LeBron going to get a post game?
He bullies from the perimeter. He doesn't just
but like when is he going to go down there, get in the low post, hold his hand up, throw it down there?
You're 25.
Go like to that weak side corner from that position, back in Miami.
LeBron shouldn't even be playing basketball anymore. Everything right now is icing on the cake, I think.
Well, and then he got a grade 2 MCL sprain, which I don't know. We have to
MCLs heal on their own, even when they're torn, usually.
Yeah, it's just rest, right? You just have to.
Yeah. MCL tears heal on its own.
So he's got some time to rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyhow, how
do you feel about that report, Coach Nick?
I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm asking you a question.
I mean,
that's why I'm here to ask the good question.
He broke his hand after they lost in the finals, and I did that video, a little sleuthing. And we saw him moving after the game, right? We saw somebody was filming him in the tunnel.
Your next video, what's going on with LeBron James' knee?
I don't know. I mean, we had 7 minutes to play to evaluate the grade 2 MCL sprain. I will far be it for me to know how painful it was for any of those things, or how much it hurts later after the adrenaline. So
you ever see those like threads with like 20 lies LeBron was caught in? Those are hilarious.
I've seen it.
I don't know about that combo. Tell us.
No, there's some funny ones in there though. You got to go search it out, Coach Dick.
Oh yeah, I think
some of the books he read, they were asking about it. Oh, it was crazy.
Listen, that's a book.
He's making clear on the record that he's a really good person, a great family person. Has never gotten caught up in any kind of issue.
Oh,
Scandal.
Stephen A. does this whole thing, right? He has to like do the whole thing before he talks. Like, great family, man. Yeah, great business.
Listen, I would be remiss if we didn't at least establish how we feel about that. Than anything else. So, but interesting. So because this actually affects the Warriors and the Rockets because I'm sure the Warriors now, if they win this thing, they're now having to gone through a grueling 7-game series with another team that they're going to play that has a lot of rest and a lot of time to prepare. I don't know if that time to prepare will benefit them as much. We'll see if Finch can, come up with a really good game plan. It's sometimes dubious for me for that, but at the very least, I think the struggles they're having with the Rockets indicates that it would be very tough to overcome the Timberwolves. And then on the flip side, the Rockets win at home in Game 7. I don't know. The way they struggle to score a lot of the time indicates to me that it'd be an even taller task against the younger team and longer against the Timberwolves. What do we think?
I like so here's the thing is I like the prospect. I would like to see I'm not pulling for either team, but any team, but the Rockets Timberwolves matchup intrigues me. I would say that would intrigue me to see some of this athleticism go up against each other.
You just want to see the next era come in already. That's what.
Well, maybe in my subconscious, maybe that's the thing. Yeah. But I don't know. It's not like I'm actively pulling against the Warriors because I think that would be a good series too, or an interesting series. But there's just something about the Rockets, and I can't put my finger on it. It's something about the Rockets Wolves series that would intrigue me.
I think the T-Wolves just seem fun right now.
Like
Dan Edwards, yeah. And this is the best version of Julius I've ever seen. Like he's seeing the floor better. His attitude's better. Yeah, he's been good. And also that physicality. He was really matching up with Luka and LeBron when he had to.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I would really like to see Jimmy Butler guard Ant.
That would happen. Yeah.
Really. Now, that said, I really want to see Amen Thompson guard Ant as well. That's it. Those are both really incredible
matchups. Yeah.
Damn, I feel bad for his brother, man. What Brunson did to him to finish him.
Oh, you mean that last shot? Yeah, that was cold.
That was cold.
Yeah, and that way, great move, by the way. Hit that stop. And don't forget, if you're going to do that move full speed like that, you got to have your toes turned, perpendicular to the direction you're going, that to take that force so you're not going to straight, hyperextend your knee, whatever. We actually, interestingly enough, that kind of stop, we don't see it a lot anymore as much. Do you remember like he kind of, I think he went tween.
Can you pull it up? Can you pull it up on the screen or no?
I could. Let's see here. Should I do it as a tweet? I
kind of want to watch that right now.
I don't know. Let me see if I have it as a tweet because Brunson game winner, right? Yeah. Let's see here because here, yeah.
I think he was just driving. Wasn't he just driving left? Right.
He was driving left, but then he went through his legs from the outside. I don't even know what do we combo call that these days.
I mean, a snatch back. SGA does that all the time.
All right, so we'll do this one. So here we go. Let me find.
It's kind of like a snatch.
Share screen. Here. Let's see if this will work. Can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's pause this. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about. When you through the legs, right? You can see how his toe and he turns his hips are really but see how his foot is turned perpendicular to where he's going?
Yep.
That's really important to absorb that force because otherwise you can really damage your knee.
Damn, Cade's looking at a dead man. That's what it looks like.
What?
Cade, it looks like Cade's looking at a dead man.
Yeah, right. Cade's chill. He's really chill. Is that the right term? Yeah. Now the thing with Oladipo, remember when Oladipo really hit the scene and was turned into an all-star and was really good for that year and a half?
Yeah. That was his go-to.
Doing a lot of this, but when you saw him, he didn't have his foot turned that way as much. So he was putting all that pressure on the hamstring, on the quad, and that's why it was no surprise to me that he started to have those real serious quad issues that ultimately derailed his career because that's a dangerous thing. And which, by the way, we talked about this. Did we talk about this combo about the Dame? We did talk about this, right? The Dame Achilles tear.
Yeah.
So I almost need to find my tweet on that one because. I tweeted it out, and I had people who were pros in that realm of rehab and functional physiology who didn't seem to understand that you can train these things. You can train foot plants to minimize risk. And I think a couple people got so hung up on yelling at me about that I was somehow saying that you could eliminate, tears of your Achilles when that was never said. I'm just making it clear you can mitigate that risk as much as possible. So if you're out there and you want to do those moves, just take a page from Brunson, who's got impeccable footwork and knows how to do those stops on a dime. If that makes sense.
That was sick.
So to play, I don't know. Let's see the whole thing because this was beautiful.
Yeah. The one thing about that play though is that Asara was playing. Well,
that was choppy, Coach Nick. Can we see it?
Brunson like that the whole
choppy?
series.
Very choppy.
Oh, it looks good to me. Unfortunately, I guess local, but
okay.
Sorry.
What was that, Chris?
Anyhow, what were you saying, Chris?
What were you saying, Chris? I wanted to hear that.
Oh, I was saying like Asar's style of defense, and I think it's just because he's young. He's just super aggressive in your face. He didn't give Brunson any space, right? So he used Brunson used that aggression to his advantage. So when he was able to put all that force on his ankle and do the snatchback, of course Asar was going to go flying, right? I feel like you don't put that as a defender. They had what, like how many seconds did they have on that play? Was it 10 or was it less?
Well, I think there was about there was almost no time left when there was
because they had 3 seconds left, right?
It went in around 4.3, I think was what it was.
Okay, right. So I feel like as a defender, you should play a little bit off, and then once it gets a little, because you're looking at the shot clock, right, from the other side of the court. I give him maybe 3 seconds, 4 seconds. Then I push up on him and force him to do that move. And then maybe it gets closer to the clock differential, and then it could be a shot clock or something. But I would never press up on someone immediately because it's going to give up a driving lane or they're going to do the snatchback. We've seen James Harden do it plenty of times. Like, it's just a young thing. He's just a young player.
Go ahead, Combo.
No, that makes sense. Like, if you think about it, like when you play 3 dribble max, like you try and like one-on-one, you try and contain and contest, and then as the shot clock goes down, it kind of turns into 3 dribble max because the shot clock's going down. So yeah, that does make sense in a lot of ways.
Got a better,
and also he's very long and athletic. So
exactly, he could recover.
Yeah.
Here's a better idea for you. You guys sitting down? Why don't you just double him and get the ball out of his hands?
I was thinking that too, but I was like they haven't doubled them all game.
What's it, the fourth quarter? Yeah, that's what you should do. It like I can't believe this. If Cade beat you, okay, great. And by the way, he beat him the game before on a really tough shot, but that's like tip your cap, whatever. But if you're going to let Brunson one-on-one at the top of the key, I don't know what's going on, especially there because that's the 4-3-2. He throws a pass. Now the ball's in the air for a second.
Do you think? They don't have time. Do you think?
I was shocked.
I mean, do you think that an off the dribble 3 is more efficient than like a catch and shoot from like an OG or a Mikel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Asar they probably thought that they had that luxury with Asar because one of the better defenders.
It's Brunson.
It's Brunson, man. Clutch gene.
Not like this. Not in the Matrix. Not like this. Can't let him do that.
That's if he doubles and then OG gets the open 3, they were like, why do they double him? You know,
right. By the way, open 3, right?
You know, a lot of times you can't take away everything.
Right. I mean, you can't let Brunson be the guy. And especially if you throw it to OG, there's rotation. Somebody should get somewhere.
It's the XR, right? So once if OG is open, someone is running towards him, and the guy who's doubling runs to whoever, like in a dunker spot or something, right?
Anything outside of about 15, 20 feet, he can't throw it. He's not going to throw it. So you can eliminate half the court. It's mind-boggling to me that they didn't do that.
Yeah. That's actually the first thing I thought of. I was like, why didn't they just double him once he caught it? But
now he's going to his right as a lefty, which is an easier shot as well for a lefty. Everything was just unbelievable that they didn't do. And it's not like we don't see that, but I don't know if Bickerstaff, I don't know what kind of he thought about it or if it came up or whatever, but I don't think that they did it really at all. And now he went home.
You'd be surprised. I don't think teams do it enough.
Right.
I don't think they double enough.
But yeah, especially who are the guys? There's only 6 players in the league that do it too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they double they double Luka.
I know
it. Tatum.
Yeah, this is the NBA, the best league in the world. I know for sure in pickup people don't double enough. They really guard. They really guard the worst player hard.
Yeah.
Like why does that guy have any gravity? Just go guard somebody else and make him beat you.
I stopped doing that a long
That's like a
time
cheat
ago.
code. Like, don't even guard that guy. Don't guard him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As you get older, work smarter, not harder.
Oh yeah, listen, I gotta tell you, I think I told you this combo. I played 3-on-3 with my kid, for the first time in I don't know a decade. I hadn't played any kind of organized, even a half court. But I did all that you're talking about. I knew exactly how to move whenever. My watch didn't even register exercise, and I probably scored about 5 points. I was like I was doing work, but I knew I didn't have to go there. I didn't have to run out there. It was amazing.
You're like
Exactly.
people are. People are closing out hard. Like against people that can't even play.
no.
Up in their feet.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah. So
You got to double Brunson. He's he's got the
You
clutch
got-
scene. You got to double Brunson.
He really is. He is really ridiculous in the clutch, though.
I mean,
Really
Combo,
is.
did this series, sorry to be the instigator here, did this series seal the deal in y'all's conversation, Brunson versus Cade? And
No, I think
Cade
they
would
both.
be a top 15 guy when he missed that open layup.
No,
in the lane.
but the this was a regular season conversation. First of all,
I know,
but you can measure how good the person is, like in the regular season, by how good is he really? And this is why
I still think Cade is the better overall basketball player.
no.
I can't
Wait.
go with you on that.
But I think that, do you think you can win a championship with Brunson as your best player though?
That's a fact.
Because I don't think so.
That will happen for Cade. Look. Listen. If you switch players, Knicks in 5, guarantee it. Knicks in 5.
Are you going to give the Brunson like that Steph Curry thing where we can't win because he's a small guard?
No, exactly.
He's actually smaller than Steph Curry, by the way.
Yeah, and I think
So that's
Steph
why
only works.
Detail.
Yeah, I think Steph only works because you have to guard him at 32 feet.
Yeah,
That's the only reason that works. If he couldn't shoot from that far, I don't think he would win as many championships as he has. I think for height wise as a player, I think Anthony Edwards is the shortest player you can possibly be to win a championship.
Steph's a better passer. Steph's a better passer than Brunson too, and he's even quicker. Yeah. He's just better. He's just a lot better.
Steph's quicker than Brunson, though.
What?
Certainly not now. He's not quicker than Brunson.
He might be still.
I mean, Brunson's got all that is jittery. Like I can't.
He is. He's different. They're different. They're very different. They're very different.
Yeah, they're different.
That's why, and you keep saying Brunson, can't do it, and all right, great, that's the kind of thing. Now, it's an easy argument to make because they're not going to beat the Celtics, right?
No, it doesn't matter who it is. I don't think you could be sick unless you're Steph Curry. I don't think you can be 6'3" and under. And
what if
be
you're
the best player on the championship?
Yeah, but what if your best player is Cat? Your second best player. You know what I mean?
No, he would have to be the best player. Cat has to be the best player.
But what kills you about Cat is his defense, right? Brunson's defense is fine. He doesn't really get exposed, right? But what kills you is that Cat's defense at that position has kept them at a very, a non-Tibbs defensive rate.
Another thing about the Knicks is they don't have identity. What's their identity? Just Brunson's our clutch guy. That's our identity.
Yeah. And by the way, I hate their offense, especially down the stretch. I mean it's heroic, it's epic, it's dramatic, it's amazing. But I think they can make it easier for Brunson.
Even down the stretch, first half, it was just watch Brunson go.
You guys know how many shots he took yesterday?
How many?
33.
Yeah. I mean, down the stretch, it was. I think he probably took all of them, right? I mean, I can't picture, and at the very least, get some movement, something to give him an advantage.
I want to see the statistics for the season, Brunson versus Cade. Can you pull that up? I'm sure Brunson's are better, but can you pull it up?
Yeah, I think that's our point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That what?
Mm-hmm.
That we saw who's better.
No, I disagree.
I mean, all right, but we still saw the same Cade stuff that popped up. As a young player, still developing, first playoff series, I get it. It's on the path where he should be, but he ain't there. Can't.
Yeah.
Give him the Knicks. Give him the Knicks.
It wouldn't matter. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they might win the East.
So
that guy's good, man.
I heard you talking about this earlier with Coach and Combo. I think the Pistons have a decent supporting cast. While they're young, I think they have a
No,
decent.
it is decent, but it's not. But it's not Cat, OG, Mikel.
Okay, and that's probably fair.
I
But
mean, think about Duran, Cat.
Yeah, but like Tobias is like an all-star at some point in his career. Like he's a good player. You know, he's
That's what we're doing now. Tobias.
Cat. Like that's
You know,
crazy.
they played hard. They played good. They played together. I think they had a better identity, but on paper, they were nowhere close.
I mean, listen, Beasley, 3-and-D is expected as like as well, he's not expected OG on the defensive end, but he's a good defender, and he just is buckets from the outside. Like
yeah. Pistons were missing their second best player. He wasn't even available.
That's true. That's arguable. Yeah.
But again, you know, Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't even like the way he plays on this team, but you know, he isn't a slouch, and he came through for them. By the way, in a big
Brunson played great. Like there's no, it's undeniable. Brunson played great. I just don't think he's better at basketball than Cade. That's all. He played great.
And by the way, I think you might give Cade a little bit too much credit on the defensive end.
No, he's good.
He had some pretty impressive, weak side blocks that
he's
I didn't think he was. He was. And then
he could guard posts. He could guard wings. He could guard guards.
Getting lost on the weak side too. I was like, he didn't pick somebody up a few times. It can't happen.
That's true.
So, you know, he's fine. He's good. He's got intangibles that he's taller and he can move. So that's helpful.
Yeah, he's 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, but you know, I don't know how much, you know, and again, when you're talking about the sliding scale, the offense always is weighed more than the defense, no matter how good a defender you are, right? The offense
That's
is
true.
Yeah. But you know, there's just an intangible there that Brunson has. He is a killer. He is a closer. He's gotten that way because he's been in the situation in college and now here in the pros a lot of years. It's just not really fair to say, you know, Cade hasn't gotten that experience yet.
Cade was actually the best player in college. His team wasn't that good though, just like now.
Cade,
that is true.
Cade go to Duke? Is that where he's from?
No,
he went to Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State. Yeah. Played for Coach Mike Boynton.
He's from in college for some weird reason. All right. Anyway, so Cade is at a crossroads in my mind. This is the most important summer he's going to have in his career. Because
you think so?
Yeah, I think this is the moment.
He's setting up these narratives.
He's going to be 55. What?
You're like setting up some kind of like crazy storyline. Like this guy had a great season. Just let it be.
No, if you want
to say that about any player, you could say that. You could say that about Luka, right? You could say that about Luka. You could say that about anybody.
I think that more applies to the young, the young players like that are the superstars on their team. They're trying to get to that next gear, that next level. I think that's why he's saying that this offseason is one of the biggest off seasons for him, is to take that next step.
We're moving on. Okay. What else we have to talk about then? We have a game 7 coming up, I think, tomorrow. Wait, not tomorrow, Sunday.
Yeah. No, tomorrow.
That's going to be a good one.
Tomorrow.
That's going to be a good one, boys.
There goes my plans. Wow. Okay. We got a game against the Nuggets. Nuggets were left for dead. We thought that was over. The dream was done. And here we are. Who's going to win this game?
I kind of want to see the Clippers win.
Okay, can they win on the road?
I mean, Denver has Jokic, so that makes it always makes it tough when you have the best player on the court. But I'd like to see the Clippers win.
I don't know where I'm going to go with this one yet. I don't know who I'm picking in this.
I think Denver does win. I want to see the Clippers win. I want to see James Harden win one. That'd be fun.
I'm going to go put a poll. Should I do that?
Yes.
Let's do a poll in the chat. Let's see if I can do this while you get, or talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
poll right here.
Yeah, Chip, were you going to say something?
This series has been by far and away the best series out of all these first round games, and the fact that we were talking on this show the other night when it was 3-1 and Denver was just completely down. Their body language, they're arguing in the huddle, they're this, that, and the other. We all thought that's the end. And so to see them bounce back this way, it's just been really impressive. And in my opinion, I think it's going to be hard for the Clippers to seal the deal in Denver in game 7. So I'm going to have to go with Denver in this one, even though I think it would be interesting to see the Clippers move on. I think I would have to pick Denver if I had to pick.
I agree with you, Chip. I think Denver will win.
Well, it used to be hard to pick against the home team. But I feel like I don't think my mind, but I feel like there's been more road Game 7 wins than in more recent times, right? Does that sound right to everybody?
I think that's the 3-point variance.
Yep.
You said more
probably.
home wins in Game 7.
I feel like the home team has lost a little bit more often than they used to. Like before, it was like 90%, and now it's not.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to look that up. Maybe I don't think we can't trust ChatGPT for that, can we?
I don't think so.
I can't trust him.
ChatGPT could do some amazing things.
Oh, amazing things.
They could put like
they
could make like a cover letter in a file in like 2 seconds.
Oh,
like
it's write emails for me like no one's business. But I spend a lot of time yelling at ChatGPT for how wrong they are.
No, if you're looking for like sports stats, it's not the best.
It's crazy what they come up with. And then they, by the way, very, very apologetic, very polite.
Yes. Very polite AI.
Yeah, I think that ChatGPT wants to give you an answer that it thinks that you want, not what the reality is. So it gets excited and it starts creating it made up games that never happened and like storylines like in games about stuff. I'm like, that didn't happen. They didn't. Şengün wasn't even playing that game like that night. Whatever they were trying to do about the heroics of him.
Hey, but it's great. It's great for so many things. It was great for me this morning when I had it pick my team name for our group foursome for a golf tournament where all 4 of us are referees on the team. And so now ChatGPT picked it for us. And
what was the name?
Now it's our team name is Flagrant 4.
Oh, that is
FORE, like 4. Yeah.
Oh,
little punny in there.
That's good.
Yeah. By the way, very, very good.
And there's 4 of you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because I did that for Guy Santos was playing earlier this year, and we're getting a little excited because it's just fun to see a guy come out of nowhere and like contribute. So I'm like, give me some whatever. So it gave me a couple I still use where one of them was Guy at last. So I like that. And then Guy Your Mind.
I like it.
Those are all ChatGPT stuff. So maybe that'll be a t-shirt. Anyway, what else we have to talk about? We kind of talked a little bit about that. So, all right. So I don't think I even said who I think will win. The poll is up in the comments. I think it may get pinned. You can see it easily. So make sure you vote. I'll give you another minute and we'll go through the answers there. But the momentum clearly is on the Nuggets side here. And I think it's going to be like Aaron Gordon probably will be the guy who decides this thing, right? If he comes and is scoring well and really playing well, I think that ends up being an X factor for them.
I think James Harden's actually the X factor.
Okay, so flip it on the other side. So
I think if he has a big game, I think it's
it would be nice for him to do that and like maybe knock a little bit of that.
He did good last game, right? He played solid.
Yeah, and that's the thing. He doesn't have 2 good games in a row. Like he just in the playoffs, he doesn't do that. So I expect nothing from James Harden other than just game managing. I think it's on Kawhi, and I'm half joking, but I'm half serious. I think that if it's a close game, I think Westbrook will lose the game for the Nuggets. He will miss a layup. He will turn the ball over. He will miss a wide open layup. He will do something
that is
to lose the game.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
It is what it is with him. And so I'm just kind of checking right now. The best they played was when he didn't play. Although they ended up winning that game at the very end. They built a 20-point lead. They looked so good. But the last game they won, right, and kind of handily, he played where did that go? Here it is.
He had one good game recently.
He had like 21 points.
2 minutes. 14 points, 2 for 4 from 3, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. And 2 turnovers only. So he did play well.
But that was last game, right?
That was let me make sure that's last game. 111. Oh my God, I clicked on the wrong game.
That was the second game.
No, I did. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? I'm forgetting. Yes, the Clippers won, and he played well though. So forgive me. That's what I meant. That was last game.
But you remember what stands out is what he wide open on the fast break. Jokic outlets in the ball, and he just completely missed a wide open layup. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that'll happen. Yeah. So exactly. So I think it's a good call, Chris. I think keep your eye on Russ because if they give him that many minutes, there'll just be too many opportunities for him to do that. That's why I think if you want the best of Russ, you got to play him 24 tops.
What are your guys updated playoff predictions? Sorry, final predictions.
for the finals.
Like what two teams you guys think that'll play in the finals?
Anybody?
It's probably still OKC Boston for me.
That's what it seems like.
I don't know. I feel like, the Magic are not there, but I think this will be an interesting series to see the Knicks against Boston to figure out where Boston is. And I'm still probably leaning towards the Cavaliers beating them. I mean, I'm an underdog guy, I guess, even though the Cavaliers have the higher seed. But I just feel like they have a lot to offer, right? They have defenders for Boston.
But I just feel like Donovan Mitchell and Garland are just too small. They're just going to be hunted. It's just too many offensive options for Boston to go to.
Okay.
Are they banged up right now?
Who?
Yeah, Garland is banged up, right? Didn't he?
No.
He has a toe.
Oh, Celtics. Isn't like Jalen have something and Drew have something?
Yeah, he has like something with his knee.
Too. Tatum had missing it. Yeah, so that could be part of it. I mean, I'm looking forward to, by the way, to Derek White guarding Brunson. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was like, it depends on how healthy Jaylen Brown is, but I'd probably like to see Jaylen Brown on him.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll cycle everybody through him and wear them out.
Does anybody think the Knicks have any chance?
Based off the regular season, they lost all 4 games.
By 20.
They look bad.
Or more.
And yeah, it was really and it was just because, I mean, Cat isn't great at guarding pick and roll, but Tibbs is just too stubborn to change the defense how he was playing us. It didn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
And I told you guys on the last live show that I had the Celtics coming out of the East from the very beginning. I just felt like that they were the team in the East this year.
All right, we have some votes. Should we go through this real quick for the Game 7 tomorrow? Only 95 votes. Okay, interesting. How many people are here? Anyway, I guess most people are on Twitter. The Clippers are currently winning 52-48, 53-47. It's kind of right in that range.
That's pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah, so it's kind of a pick 'em. Interesting. And then this is your chance to weigh in before we end the poll. But again, the Clippers on the road, huh? Interesting. We'll have to see. I don't know. But let's get to our next super chat. Which is, can we see this? Here we go. Mac baby. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. I really appreciate it. I noticed no sense of urgency to win. Is it me? And I think we're talking about the Warriors again. And we mentioned that in the very beginning of the show. There didn't seem to be a sense of urgency. Although, what does that look like? Does it have to be a facial expression? What is it? What is a sense of urgency?
It's an energy. It's an energy.
I
think it's body language.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
How about loose balls?
Yeah, I think
speed to loose balls, maybe a little bit of that, like aggression.
I think anybody could watch a basketball team and say this team has a sense of urgency right away. Right when they watch it, or they don't.
Right. Chip.
Well, and I think maybe a contributing factor to thinking that they didn't have a sense of urgency tonight is they were careless with the basketball sometimes, and maybe that could lead people to believe that there wasn't a sense of urgency.
Don't worry, chat. We're not going to go back to Cade versus Brunson, but Pistons always played with a sense of urgency. Always.
Okay, and the Rockets do too.
Yes.
Rockets do too.
Yeah. I mean, like okay. Here's an example. Steph in the game before in the big blowout in Game 5, Steph and Amen were on the ground like tussling, wrestling, whatever, right? And then Steph comes up kind of like laughing with him. Remember that?
I think that's Jalen Green. But
Jalen Green. It was Jalen Green. Sorry, not Amen.
Yeah.
And I just put that in my head somewhere. It was interesting. Now we saw Jimmy and who was it cradling the ball?
That was Amen.
Amen. And then that was. And then Adams, did you see Adams come up behind and like kind of put his head against Jimmy's head? That was funny, and almost like an embrace. Urgency would have been ripping that ball out and perhaps causing a melee, right? Like Chip, you've probably seen that, right? After the play stop, and they won't throw the ball and someone rips it out. That causes a fight usually, right?
Yes.
But it would also indicate urgency.
Yep.
I guess it's up to interpretation, right?
Yeah. I mean, listen, did the Warriors want to win tonight? Absolutely. I have no doubt that they approached this game in a way that they, were ready to go, but it doesn't always work that way. And Fred VanVleet's knuckleballs were, I think the air conditioning must have been turned off in the stadium.
Yeah. Well, first on the urgency thing, I think they did play with urgency. They had, especially in the first quarter, they were running on every fast break because I don't think they had faith in their half court offense. And when I saw that, I was like, they're the older team. They're trying to get in transition because they know the half court offense isn't what it needs to be to beat this level of a defensive team. And going back to Fred VanVleet, he had a horrible probably first 2 games. And the last 3 games, he's gotten really comfortable. I didn't think it was going to continue today, but it did. And we'll see if it'll continue on Sunday. That's going to be very interesting.
I mean,
he's been shooting the ball really well
on him. Like Jimmy, the ball's loose into the corner. He jumps up in the air, turns around, and just, BP was right there. He could have thrown it to me. He just fires it across the court right to Fred VanVleet, wide open for the 3. It was like it didn't matter almost. Like it's just he's that guy. By the way, that's the thing that Fred VanVleet is. Those guys they're just always in the right spot no matter what.
Steph's like that a lot too.
Steph could be like that. What? Like, and I remember in high school I had kids, and you just know right away they're not even they may not even be a great player, but they're always going to be just happen to be there. It's like some weird chameleon. They're just there. It's amazing. It's a talent, a knack. I don't know how you teach it, but that's him. And also just a really cool cat, like just a guy that is not ruffled at all.
Very cool under pressure.
Yeah, he's got that energy. Like I interviewed him last year before a game, and it was just like, and he wasn't even playing, but it's just like he makes you feel, because it's a little nerve wracking. I'm holding a thing. I got this. I got to do the whole, and everything's, it's going before the game. Everyone's all amped up, and I got to tell you, it was just like I sat next to him. I did, and it was just calming. Like he was just really chill, and it just everybody that exudes, and it really, I think, it affects
that team needs it with all that young energy.
Oh yeah. Well, remember we saw that with almost started to get into it maybe in game 5 as well, and they almost like his teammates almost like tackled him to get him out of there. Like, stay focused, don't do that, whatever.
Because that's what Draymond likes to do to people. That's his goal basically. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, they're going to try and do it to Draymond.
Yeah, they should. They should.
Dylan might for sure.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Dylan Brooks, where's my thing? He hardly played, didn't he?
He was bad. Offensively, he was bad.
So he played 18 and a half minutes. They're better. When you got Jabari Smith out there and Şengün and then Adams and then Fred VanVleet, that's a really good lineup.
Dylan serves a purpose in certain situations, but you definitely don't want him having the basketball in his hand and getting into mid-range shots off the dribble like he was.
Right. Well, what's up with his perimeter shots? Like, I mean, what's up with his shooting motion? It looks so weird.
So
well, he doesn't flex the wrist. So he'll shoot it, his wrist will come back, and then it'll stop in like almost like a high five motion.
It's
weird. Some like Tony Parker used to do that. Rudy Gobert does that sometimes. He doesn't let his wrist. Is it flex or is it
flex?
Somebody? Yeah. I'm losing my mind. Anyway, they
follow
don't
through. Like a follow through?
Yeah, flick it. Yeah, they kind of, so it's like
flick, snap.
A neutral wrist. It's very weird, but the arm pushing up, it gives it the momentum. So yeah, I don't think he'd ever be anything better than average.
Right.
Let's see, what does he shoot now? It's like has anyone ever looked up Dylan Brooks 3-point shooting?
No,
I mean,
it's like 36%.
It got better during.
Oh, you know what? Forgive me. He was 40% this year. That's elite.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably. I would like to see like how open he is on those shots.
Yeah,
on those.
I'm sure those are all catching shoots and they're all open.
Was that high volume? It's not. It can't be high volume.
It is. It is 6 attempts a game. I watched the Rockets. I didn't see him like that, but his career average is under 36%, which seems to me in line with what would be. It'll probably maybe regress to, but maybe he's fixed it out a little bit. But I'll look at it. Maybe he's now the rest is going through, but I don't think so. But speaking of which, it's funny because the Warriors had some other players come on. They had a player that had a Sean Marion jump shot. Did you see that? Maybe you guys were watching by the end. I'm forgetting his name, but anyway. But he uncorked one in the left corner, and it was like I hadn't seen him shoot before. So anyway, we all remember Sean Marion, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Matrix.
The Matrix. That's right. Well, listen, it's long in the tooth for you guys. I can't thank you enough for staying up so late for us on the East Coast. I'm it's not even 10 o'clock for me, but I'm going to go to bed soon. But great stuff. Great crowd tonight. Really great questions as well. So,
hey, Coach, I think we had one more super chat that we didn't get to.
Shoot. Good call. Sorry, you're right. Sorry, Mac, baby. I saw it and then I blanked. Can we agree they don't have a third scorer, Clay/KD? Okay, I mean, who would it be? Like, is it BP? You know, it probably supposed to be Kuminga.
I don't think that's the reason why they're losing though.
Aha. What is the reason?
They just have no big who can rebound.
Yeah, every rebound is an adventure, right?
Every single one. They're
Yeah,
playing Gary Payton. They had to start him. Like that tells you everything. He's searching for something.
yeah. I mean, maybe they go old school and go Looney and Draymond.
But that just you have two guys who can't make layups, right? So it's
Or threes.
or threes.
Yeah, but that's who they rode and died with for a while, a long time, really well.
Yeah, they had a different team, though, right? They had Otto Porter, Andrew Wiggins. Just the team makeup was just different back then. Now it's gotten worse. They had Brent Poole. It was just a completely different team. This team just isn't good at all. Well, not isn't good. It isn't constructed to win a championship. And this Houston team has so many moments of how inept they are offensively, especially when the game's is close. And it just tells you how bad the Warriors are, that they can't. The series should be over already if they just had just a relatively good big man.
Yeah, I hear you. That all makes sense to me for sure. Even like Draymond's passing is inaccurate. And if it's not so inaccurate that's a turnover, even the ones that get there are a little bit off a lot of the time.
Like you're talking about the Steph Curry layup today, right?
Yeah, that just in general at the shoe tops, over here, whatever. It's interesting. And he probably has kind of had a little bit of that his whole career, but it seems more so this year than the other years. And it's tough because it just kind of interrupts the flow and the energy and all that stuff, and then it makes that shot harder to make. So hopefully they, whatever, we'll see. They can figure it all out, and at least let's have a good game for Game 7, right? That's the thing I'm hoping.
Well, hey, last question I have for you guys then is so we talked a little bit about the series, but what matchup do you think is going to be better? Is going to be a best series type matchup for OKC out of these two teams? Do you like Clippers and OKC, or do you like Denver and OKC?
Oh, it's Clippers.
You think that'll make for a better series?
Yes. Yeah. Just because of I probably lean because of the coaching. I think Ty Lue is better equipped. He has more options on his roster than the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets it's Jokic, and then
Jokic is coaching basically.
He really is. The way he's yelling on the bench, pointing at people, you need to be there.
I mean, Murray's a game or two, bro. Murray's a game or two. It's
Murray, man. He's been so disappointing this whole year. I know he had a few good games, but he should be better. He needs to be better. He should be better. And we'll see if he shows up in this game. I think him showing up these past two games has something to do with Ty Lue leaning towards Nick Batum instead of Chris Dunn, switching those minutes because he needs more offense. And I think that coincides with Jamal Murray going off because he wasn't doing any of that when Chris Dunn was on him. So,
right. Chris Dunn is a problem.
Yeah.
They got a lot of good role players. Bogey, nobody talks about Bogey.
Yeah.
His shooting has been off, but he's
just a good player though.
Yeah.
I mean, Zubac I don't even know if you can consider him a role player anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a guy like Hopkins is not playing. He always does good things when he gets in those games. So they're deep. I don't know. I mean, they can do it. Certainly, if we're talking about who's going to win. But Chip, your question was who's a better option against OKC?
Yeah. What do you think makes for a better series? What two teams in that are OKC versus who?
Yeah,
better matchups.
It's so funny because we still don't know exactly what OKC is in my mind.
I agree.
OKC, man. OKC is really good. They, other than Houston, I think they are probably the most physical team I've seen on defense.
Yeah, you know what? I've already forgotten, but yes, that's a good point.
They're really, really physical. Like it stands out how physical
And also
they are.
Caruso's a difference maker on defense too.
Yeah, and he wasn't playing the game I watched, and they were still really physical.
So double bigs are coming back. Really physical defense must be coming back. I guess everyone was waiting for the playoffs and then game on. Well, I do find it funny that everyone who wanted the defense to be able to be more physical, that's what they're complaining about. And then guess what? As soon as it goes against their team, they hate it and they can't stand it. Calls and the rest and this and that. Whatever.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I personally love it too, man. I like the physicality. There's some moments there that remind me of the '90s, man, and it's just exciting. You know what I mean? And that we were even talking about so I'm the ref on the call, and I didn't even talk about any plays tonight. But the only one that really happened was that flagrant on Draymond that was kind of controversial, maybe semi. The flagrant wasn't even the controversial part; it was what happened before that. You know, he was put into Draymond was kind of nudged into Green, right? And so he bumped through him, and then Green had his hand on Draymond or whatever, like in the front, and then that's when Draymond threw him off. So some would me and you were talking about it, Coach Nick. Like, was that a foul on Jalen Green first? Before that, should that have been called? And in my opinion, it wouldn't match how the officiating has been called at all throughout the playoffs. Exactly. So I thought that would have been a weak call to put it on him. And I think that all you get on that play is penalizing Draymond with a flagrant for the obvious unnecessary contact.
But the other one though was the Steph Curry left-handed three that people were the Rocket fans were really upset. I posted that one.
It was a great call.
It's insane that he even tried to shoot it lefty. Which, by the way, it's still a natural shooting motion. It doesn't matter what hand you shoot it with to be a natural shooter. Somebody tried to argue that on Twitter.
That's funny.
Is back to the basket, 30 feet away. Just throw it up in the air, right? That's unnatural, but not right. And he almost made it, but everybody, was upset because Eason, they felt like Steph Curry jumped into him. Everyone's like, I thought they outlawed this. This is the exact shot that kind of play. And so, Chip, do you want to weigh in on why there's still a foul on Eason?
Yeah, obviously. So what we're doing there is we're officiating the defense. We're refereeing the defense on that shooter play. So Eason is continuing to move forward into Curry at the point of contact. And so he is not in legal guarding position when contact occurs. The other thing you have to see is when you're officiating between that matchup, right? And you're seeing Eason close space, you need to see if Curry closes even more space by abnormally or unnaturally launching at an abnormal angle to seek out contact that otherwise would not have occurred. In this situation, the onus is on Eason because he's continuing to move into Steph as Steph goes to launch for that shot. And he does not get out. Steph does not get out of his frame and extend abnormally and launch abnormally into Eason, and that's why Eason is responsible for that contact.
What you'd see is the defender stopping and kind of like lean back a little bit, and then boom, he gets nailed like that. Like that's the kind of play, and we don't have a lot of those because they have outlawed it, and we don't see too many of those. Even the one that they all got mad with the SGA in the regular season, if you can remember, who was it? To his right, he looks back at him and then he jumps into him. That almost barely rose to the level of like what you considered. Remember this play? Gosh,
I can't remember who the defender was, but I remember the play.
Yeah,
and
was it on Minnesota?
I will say this: it's easier to identify as a referee an abnormal or unnatural launch to seek out contact when they're launching backwards, because most shooters do not launch backwards. Right. So if they launch backwards to seek out contact, and they're outside their frame at all, it's easier to see that that's not a natural motion. And listen, back to what you were saying, natural motion doesn't mean what that player's natural motion usually is like, whether it's shooting, whatever. They're looking to see if they've jumped outside their frame to seek out contact that otherwise would not have occurred. And if they do that, then it would be an offensive foul. But if contact is going to occur and the defender's continuing to move into them, then they're responsible for contact.
We have one more super chat. I know that we're keep going. You guys are staying up late with us tonight. Really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Mac Baby, for another super chat. Really, really generous of you. They say Adams will be an unrestricted free agent next season. Does he go to the Warriors? Interesting take. I would think the Warriors would grab him in a second if they could. People have forgotten he's a really good passer.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely have some suitors. I mean, the Lakers need him too, right? They need a big. So
yeah, the Lakers would.
But he doesn't. Yeah.
Who made a lot of money, I think? Jalen Duren.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to I wouldn't say max, but he'll probably get close to it. He'll sign an extension with Detroit.
Yeah, he's
I'm
good.
not watching the same.
He's good.
I don't know.
I like him.
he had his moments. He had his
I mean,
flubs.
there are moments he has Rudy level hands. Just so you're clear.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's a better passer than Rudy, and he's way stronger.
Okay. I mean, he's certainly got a very impressive body. I mean, that's a
Oh
stat.
yeah, athletic. Yeah.
But is he an unrestricted free agent?
No, who?
No.
No, he's a rookie. He's on his second year. He's a second year player, Jalen Duren.
Right. Okay. He's a
Yeah.
second year player. Okay. I lost track.
No, I
He's
think
a little older than that.
I think he's on it. I think he's on his third year.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't looked second year to me.
Third or
But
fourth.
anyway, I don't know. I watched a bunch of Pistons game, and I would get frustrated watching him. But hey, he needs to get better too. Him and Cade should work out together in the summers, and they'd be great.
So Jalen Duren's not good. Look what Cade did. All right, we're done now.
Yeah. All right. Great stuff. Thank you everybody for being there. Awesome show. And I don't know. Don't forget, sports fans, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel. We're a conversation. You in? Are you in, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.